What is going on, guys? Happy Friday. Whoa, what's going on with the mic? How do I sound there? Is that better? All right. Welcome to Friday Night Hangout. You'll notice a few things are different, so I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But I hope everyone's having a good night. Yeah, how's everyone doing in chat? Thanks for everyone that's tuning in. Great, thank you. I'm literally been battling audio issues almost every day, so I still haven't had one episode without audio issues. So I'm hoping that I've mostly worked everything out, but we're not there out of the yet. So I'm still working on it. But are you working on anything today, Brian? Let me know what you guys are working on in chat. But yeah, I guess I'll get going. So happy Friday, everyone. Few exciting announcements as I teased. I'm a bit of a tease, I guess. So first thing, I'm sure you guys have noticed, a bit of a new look to the site. So hey, buds. So I've been working on a bit of a rebrand and kind of like all my visuals on the site. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the upgraded visuals. Still some tweaking to do, but we're getting there. Definitely the first set of visuals that I did was like literally me and we're like ripped off of Streamlabs and stuff like that, and like I was kind of MacGyvered together. So I'm hoping you guys are liking the new visuals. Obviously, there's still some things that are not quite updated yet, but I'm working on it. Also, I've been teaching myself Photoshop and Adobe Elements, so I can do like more YouTube content, like curated YouTube content, and also like thumbnails and stuff like that. And I have to tell you, for someone that hasn't really touched like software like that in a long time, it's like insanely complicated and definitely like definitely gonna take a little bit of time for me to kind of figure it out. But I'm excited to work on it. So that's one thing. A few other cool upgrades. So I've upgraded my camera system. So I'm hoping you guys notice like just much better camera system and visuals. So let me just make sure that's that's not quite in focus, but there we go. So we're gonna be able to get really high def videos. So hopefully you guys are seeing the detail there. And I'm gonna be able to kind of see the paint a lot better. So what I'm doing a lot better. I definitely prefer this non-gray Twitch icon. Non-gray Twitch icon. Oh. Yeah, I think my Twitch icon changed too. Hey Texas, how's it going? Hey Con. So Brian, I do have 3. These are actually for commission, so I'm gonna be working on them tonight. I'm working on a death card commission right now, so that's what I'm gonna be working on. I'm officially done all my death card, which is amazing. I'm very happy about that. So I don't have to spend any more time doing death card. Yeah, and then actually, yeah, I put this guy together. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I put this guy together last night. Let me just get some extra light here. Oh, that's not good. No, we don't want that. Okay. So yeah, so I put this guy together last night. It's a EOS 200. It's actually pretty cheap. It's not like it was like $550, so it's not like a very expensive camera. That was with a set of lenses. It's basically one of the cheapest streaming DSLRs you can get, because like I was using a Logitech Brio, which is a 4K, which I've switched to my main front cam. But I was just finding that like I just couldn't get the level of focus that I wanted in definition. And this one's really nice because I can switch out lenses eventually with it, and it gives you a little bit of like depth of field and stuff. So hopefully, I still got, obviously, I just got it today, like all set up today, so I'm still tweaking with a lot of the settings and stuff, but hopefully I will get it figured out pretty quick. But yeah, so I'll have to kind of focus it on, I think I need to get a deeper depth of field, so that, because I want the stuff that's on the table and here in focus at the same time. So I think I need to switch the lens to something with like a deeper depth of field. I'm not a camera expert by any means, but it's definitely something that I need to figure out. So for the commission colors, these are actually going to be similar to the GW scheme that I just did. I just did a bunch of models with this scheme on my Duplicity Instagram. So if you check out that scheme, it's kind of like the GW book. You'll see the scheme there, but it's basically the basic scheme. So Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be basically airbrushing these tanks here, getting them ready for kind of, well, I'm going to just be painting these tanks. I obviously have done them in sub-assemblies, so I'll talk you through what I'm working on while I get through everything else. So I've got the main bodies, the bulldozers, these are going to be separate. I got all the little, these things here because these are going to be basically a bronze color, so I kept them off. And then this is actually really handy, and I think I've talked about this before. So these are all the weapons fully magnetized. And I have this paint stick that I have a piece of tin here, steel. And basically, when I go to prime or paint, I just basically attach everything via magnets onto this. So it's really easy to kind of have a lot of little pieces that are magnetized onto one piece of metal. And this is just something like, literally, I'm going to just airbrush right off this. So this is kind of a really handy little gadget to have. And then the demon prints I'm going to probably get to as well today, but mostly I want to get most of the progress done on the tanks. I'll probably do the base coating on him because he's going to get his armor base coated the same green as everyone else when I get to that stage. But I think I probably won't finish him today. The tanks, honestly, PVCs are super fast to paint, so I do think it's realistic I could actually even finish them like by tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to finish them tonight, but I hope we can get some good progress. So I'm going to start kind of working on these while I kind of talk. I have a few other cool announcements to make, so hopefully you guys are hopefully you guys get excited about them because I'm really excited. So yeah, but let me know what you guys are working on. I'm always excited to see what people are working on. All right, what do I need right now? Oh yeah, I need metal. So for my airbrushing on these guys, I'm basically gonna go. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a sec. So for these, I'm going to use Metal Alchemy. This is dark metal by scale 75. So this line of metallics is probably like my favorite line of metallics right now. They make a really good range of silvers, golds, bronzes. Their decayed metal is the color that is on most of my Death Guard. So I think outside of the Vallejo metals, the Vallejo metal color paints, which are like impossible to find right now because they basically just stopped making them. These are, I think, in my opinion, right up there as far as the best metallics. The Pro Aqua ones are actually really nice too, but I definitely haven't used them as much, and they tend to separate a little bit more, but they're a little bit smoother, so they're nice. So I'm gonna just be working on that while I kind of chit chat away, and hopefully you guys, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. What's going on here? So, yeah, so a few announcements. I actually have to write them down because there's so many. So first announcement, and I made this on the show on Thursday, but there will be a stream this Sunday. So I'd mentioned earlier, I think on a previous show that there wouldn't be a stream on Sunday, but actually there will be because I was supposed to film on with the Play on Tabletop guys this Sunday, but I actually got the days mixed up, and it's going to be next weekend. So next weekend there won't be a stream on Sunday, but this weekend there will be a stream on Sunday. So I'm excited for that. That actually is nice because I was like starting to panic to like get everything done for this weekend and write lists and stuff like that. I still don't really know which list I'm going to play. What do you guys think I should play? Because the options right now are to run pure Death Guard like Terminus Est. I was thinking maybe doing like Terminus Est list or something like that, or just like a pretty meta dark Death Guard list. Or my other thought was to run a Mortarion list with like Big Chicken, like maybe like a mixed Chaos list with like Magnus, Mortarion, Big Chicken, something just like super gross. Gary is running Dark Angels, so I think if I show up with like a Chaos Super Friends list, he's not gonna be super happy about it because I will be. Nice bods, dude. I'm proud of you, man. The Pro Aqua line is amazing. I'm playing Dark Angels, so like I like in my heart of hearts, I want to play Soup because it's fun, but like it's also pro tabletop, and like I kind of feel like they don't want me to be like super power gamer. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. My Death Guard list, my hard meta Death Guard list is pretty gross. I think I could take the Death Guard or the Dark Angels with it. So I'm gonna write a few lists, and kind of see what makes me happy. That's weird. My airbrush is being not cooperative. Oh, that's why I hadn't tightened the needle. So yeah, like I definitely do want to bring a like pretty intense list because I'm definitely not gonna let Gary beat me on stream. I would never live it down. But I also don't want to show up with like super hard ass list that's like just gonna like be like outrageous, I guess. I want to have something that like not to say that like the list is gonna be ugly or it's gonna be like weird stuff, but I just want something that's probably a little bit more thematic, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking of doing like a Morty list with I was thinking of doing a Morty list with let me just see how that's going. All right, I'm gonna just increase my gate, guys, so that you guys don't hear my airbrush. So just give me a sec. That should be good. Oh, still too quiet. The beauty of a noise gate is I can basically go. Okay, a little bit more. Let's see. Let me know, say 20 decibels. Can you guys hear me there though? Like, how does that sound as far as my voice is concerned? Can you hear me, or am I like fading out? You can hear me fine? Okay, great. So I'm just gonna So anyways, basically what I was saying is you'll hear a little bit of airbrushing, guys, so hopefully it's not too loud. Great, thanks. Yeah, so I want to bring something that's like slightly thematic. But we'll see. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement, as you guys mentioned already, I did do an interview with Steve Joel from 40K Game Changers. So make sure to check that out on Frontline Gaming. Make sure to give them a little bit of love as well. That was a really fun interview. Steve has this like crazy, like deep, like very like, I don't know, like it's like very like hypnotizing voice. And so it's just like, it was just nice being able to talk to him. And kind of like, I don't know, it was funny, like he's got such a good he's a radio caster, right? But like he's literally got like the perfect radio voice. So I don't know if like I didn't think like that was a thing where people actually had radio voices, but I guess it is a thing. So so that was fun. So make sure to check that out, that interview. We didn't talk actually that much 40K, which was always fun because like I feel like sometimes the interviews always focus like super heavily on 40K, but this one was nice because it didn't it wasn't like super 40K focused. He talked about a lot of random stuff, so that was really nice. All right, so that guy's done. All the metallics are down there. Boom. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the next one. And then so that's one announcement. Oh yeah, so we are now live on We're now live on the podcast app. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, not Google yet, but we're waiting on our approval. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple are like live. So if you guys want to like listen to any of the shows, and it's just gonna be the best overall show. Yeah, I know it is, but is it super loud for you guys? Kind of like, it's because here, you know what? Actually, this is what I'll do. I'll check my noise. I know there's a way here, guys. I'll do a gain limit method background. So let me try a 25. Check this out. Let me try this. I'll try a 23 decibel noise limiter. No, yeah, you can still hear me. Okay, one sec. It's hopefully not that loud. My mic's too powerful now. Okay, well, hopefully I can just talk over it so it's not too loud. I will be done fairly quick, so bear with me. How's that? Was that still pretty bad, or is it like unbearable? Because if it's unbearable, I will mute my mic while I do this for 2 seconds, and then we'll get back to it. feel like I've had noise issues or audio issues at every turn, so I want to make sure it's the audio is the best, most important thing, obviously, right? So. Okay, thanks, Dandot. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm trying to do this quick so that we can kind of move on to the fun stuff. But anyways, so yeah, podcast, you can check out the show on podcast form, which is nice. So if you guys, and that's mostly just the best overall show and politics and plastic, which is the only two we're going to put out as podcasts. This hobby show that I do it's a little bit more ranty and just me kind of shooting the shit. Plus, because I'm talking to chat a lot, it doesn't really make a great podcast format because people that aren't actually reading the chat are going to be like, what is he saying and who is he talking to? So it doesn't really make a great podcast format. But hopefully you guys check out the other ones on all the various podcast apps. So make sure to subscribe. And if you can, give us like the stars and shit, because apparently that helps. So ratings and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm not a good self-promoter, so make sure to give us some 5 stars or 3 stars or 1 star if you think it sucks. Just give us some stars so that we're a little bit more important. So that's one thing. Next piece of cool news is that the next thing I was just going to say is if you haven't checked out the best overall show from Thursday, definitely check it out from yesterday. We had Bobby Clark on, and like honestly, I've obviously talked to Bobby quite a bit through like various like messages and stuff, but like I was like so stoked with like after we stopped talking, I was like, that was like one of the best talks I've ever had and chats I've ever had with like anyone else in the hobby space, just because of the fact that like he's such an interesting character and he approaches his like yeah, well, I'll get to that in a sec, but let me just finish my thoughts on Minoritas Bobby. But like, I don't know, he just seems like such a interesting guy. Like his whole story, the discipline that he has, like the way he's able to like do what he does at like such a high level and with so much like focus, I guess. That's something that like, I don't know, it feels very it's like he's like I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like maybe a lot of commissioned painters have this kind of like artist's like viewpoint, and like Bobby's like the opposite. He's like literally just like military. He's like a military guy. Well, he's not. I don't know if he's actually. I think he's maybe was in the military, but he's very like disciplined and like and kind of strict and motivated. And like I just thought that was like super inspiring. I don't know. So definitely give it a listen if you haven't. I think it was one of my my camera just died. That's weird. What's going on there? Let's see here. My camera just died, which is weird. My camera died for you guys too? Oh, my whole computer just died. I'm a little bit frozen, so just bear with me, guys. Well, yeah, I can see that. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Sorry guys. Some weird camera issues. Okay, so we're back. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. The like camera, I don't know if that was a camera thing or what, but it should be fixed, so hopefully I'm back. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. That's the first time actually that's ever happened. It's obviously the curse of new technology. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I really enjoyed the conversation with him. He's such an interesting guy, and it like I was like, I don't know, like I feel very lucky to be able to do this kind of for fun, I guess. Like even though like I am doing it like these commissions for money, it's not something that I'm doing to like survive, right? And I just thought it was so interesting. I just thought the way that he approaches it, because he has to do it to like survive, and he's not doing it because like you know, like it's just, I don't know, it was just a very interesting approach. And anyways, I could go on about it. I think it's by far one of the favorite interviews I've done ever. Like I've obviously met a lot of people in the 40K like universe, and I think that was probably one of my favorite interviews. Albeit there were some audio issues at the start, so that sucked. But overall, I thought that was like it was just like a really fun interview. So hopefully, you know, I'm excited. I'm gonna see if hopefully he gets a little bit of traction for the charity work that he does. I thought that was really cool. All that charity work that he does. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I guess. Anyways, so that was the interview with Bobby. So make sure to check out Best Overall Show from Thursday. Next, I'm gonna be two things that I just want to quickly announce. So I'm working on one other big project right now I can't talk about, but what if and when it happens, it's gonna be huge. So I've been talking with a few other content creators. And I have something in the works right now. I can't announce it, can't talk about it. I had like a meeting about it today. I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be like huge, as Bernie Sanders would say. So just that's a little teaser, but to keep you guys paying attention. And then the last thing, kind of announcement, we are in the final round of Greek Hammer, which is the TTS tournament for the WTC. So if you guys have been interested in like that high level WTC style play, I've been paired against a Space Marine list. I don't know yet, but it'll be my hope is like by the end of next week I can like talk about it, but I gotta get like there's a few people that still have to like sign off and agree and kind of work out a few small details. But I'm hoping by the end of next week I can announce it, and then it'll probably be something that kind of you guys will see closer to the end of the month. So that's my goals, fingers crossed. But like well, of course I'm gonna announce the announcement because I'm really excited about it, so don't get mad at me. And then one last thing. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, the TTS Greek Hammer event is still going. We're in the 5th round. We're actually 6th place out of 34 teams, Team Canada. It was really cool. So if you guys are interested in watching the final round game, I'm going to be streaming that game. I haven't scheduled it yet, but keep an eye on my Twitch schedule, and also I'll post it on YouTube as well. The schedule for that game. We're playing against a team called the War Masters, I think. They're from England, so they're like another English team. And I'm playing against a Space Marine, like Iron Hands, like weird list. I'm not really sure what's going on with the list, but that's what I'm playing against. So if you guys are interested, keep an eye out for that. So that should be this week. And then we've also scheduled a scrim with the guys from Northern Ireland. So the Northern Ireland WTC team and Team Canada is playing. And I'm playing a Terminus S like Poxwalker horde for it, but don't tell them yet because lists are not live, and I wasn't supposed to say that. So don't tell the Team Ireland guys what list I'm playing. But I'm playing a Terminus S Death Guard list for that event, and so that should be fun. And I'll be starting the next few weeks as well. And then last announcement, and this is actually something really fun. So starting this week, I'm going to be doing a new limited series. So I'm going tomorrow morning to pick up my cursed. Yeah, I know. I have a big mouth. Like I literally like always blab. When the guys at the Honest Wargamer were doing the like list analysis, like pairing analysis for Team Canada, I was in the chat and I was like telling them all our secrets and stuff. And I got in trouble. So because I just like to like talk about stuff. So that should be fun. But the last thing I wanted to announce is that I'm picking up my Cursed City tomorrow morning. So thank you from Darren from Strategy Games and Hobbies here in Vancouver for keeping my copy aside. And even though I don't really sorry guys, I have if you guys don't know, it's the Diablo 2 Resurrected Alpha right this weekend. I grew up on Diablo 2. And their like Twitter channel is like giving away alpha keys for like the alpha technical test, and but you have to like answer their questions on their like Twitter. So they just tweeted and I replied, so maybe I can get a alpha key for the game, but I probably won't because I never win this kind of stuff. Let me check my email. Nope, nothing in there yet. Any free stream keys? No. Sorry. For what? What do you mean, what am I gonna run? What am I gonna run for what? For Northern Ireland? Oh, D2? If I could get into the technical right now, I'd play Sorceress, because obviously it's like the best. Like Frozen Orb Sorc. I mean, obviously. But the thing is, it's only the first 2 acts. So I probably won't play that much. I'll probably just mess around a bit and play like... I don't even think I'd get Frozen Orb, because it's like Act 1 and 2. Even though there's no level cap, I don't think there's like a... I don't think there's like different difficulties. Like I think it's normals, Act 1 and 2. Like that's those difficulties. So I don't even think you get Frozen Orb to like level 30 or something like that. Or like it's a pretty high level skill. So I don't even know if I'd get Frozen Orb, but Glacial Spike, which is the one that freezes enemies, that's a good build too at early game. So I'd probably play that, like lightning ice or something like that. So I don't know. I haven't played Diablo 2 in a coon's age, so I don't remember half the shit. But I know Glacial Spike was good because it froze enemies, and I know Frozen Orb was always fun. Teleporting around, frozen orbing shit. Yeah, Sanctuary. I think I told you guys the story when I was like when D2 came out, Lord of Destruction, I skipped school for like a month to play it at home, and we had dial-up back then, which is obviously not unlimited. And my parents got a $500 dial-up bill from me skipping school and playing Diablo 2. Yeah, the thing I like about the way that they've done it is like all the jankiness with like breakpoints and frame rates and stuff. They've like built it into it's because it's like a lot of like the faster attack speed and cast speed and stuff is all built in the engine. So I'm excited that it's kind of got like a lot of that like jank from the original. Okay, guys, a little bit more airbrushing, and then I swear I'll be done. Oh yeah, sorry, Curse City. You guys are distracting me. So for Curse City, I'm gonna be doing, because I don't have a ton of time and probably will never play Curse City, I'm gonna be doing a series called it's gonna be a painting challenge series, and it's gonna be, my goal is I'm gonna do 2-hour paint streams, and the goal is to paint one character of the like heroes from and or villains from Curse City from start to finish in every paint stream. So I'm gonna do like 2 hours, one hero start to finish. That's gonna be the challenge. So I'm gonna be doing like a Curse City speed painting challenge on the stream where I paint one character per 2 hours, and you guys are gonna see all the jank that I pull off to paint like those characters to like a pretty good standard in 2 hours. Plus, I think it'll be interesting too, because like I think a lot of people maybe that way I'll get the set painted nice and quickly instead of spending like 30 hours on everything. But it's gonna be a lot of jank techniques and stuff, and I'm gonna have to really plan it out. But once I pick up my box tomorrow, I'll probably actually do a stream tomorrow for that first model, or at least get it all assembled, clean, and ready to go, because I'm not going to count the assembly and the priming as part of the 2 hours. It's going to be like from primer to finish in 2 hours. That's the goal. So I'm going to do that for each character and each of the heroes and each of the villains. Obviously for the like random like the henchmen and stuff, I'm not going to bother doing that. I'll probably just do those like off stream because they're not that interesting. But I thought it'd be pretty cool to do like a kind of a speed painting challenge with with those guys. So let me know if you guys think that's cool or that's content you'd enjoy, and if there's any other kind of weird shit like that you want me to do, because I'm always down for weird shit. But yeah, so that's kind of it for announcements and kind of what's going on. And then I guess I just wanted to talk about a few things. What did I want to talk about today? Oh yeah, well, first thing I wanted to mention is if you guys haven't checked out, definitely, yeah, I got lots of jank, man. If Dark Angels Ravenwing can jank, then I can jank. If you haven't checked out, let me just see here. If you haven't checked out Tawny Gates' show, she has like a YouTube show as well, Tawny Gates, The War Mistress. They did an episode today with with Val, which was about cheating, and it's actually a really interesting topic that I thought I would talk about a little bit about today, because I don't really want to rehash what they said, so because I would recommend you just go checking it out. But one thing that I did want to talk about is the kind of I guess the second part of the conversation, which is if you are caught cheating, like how do you I honestly don't remember. I will link it. I will try to link it in the chat shortly. But make sure to give her a subscription, or a follow. But basically, she's got Val Heffelfinger on, who's like a 40K stat setter, and they kind of talk about like cheating and kind of like that whole like, I don't know, like what to do if you're caught cheating, or not what to do if you're caught cheating, but like you know, they're just talking about cheating basically. Go listen to it. I'm not going to tell you what they talk about, but basically it's a show about cheating. So what I wanted to talk about this specifically was like, and this is going to probably be a topic for a future episode of Politics and Plastic, which is how do you redeem your reputation? And I know we touched a little bit about this with John Weiermuller when he was on the other week, but I want to do a whole show of Politics and Plastic with a guest where we kind of talk about how to repair your reputation if you've been either caught cheating or you have a reputation for cheating, whether or not it's deserved or not, or if you know, maybe you admit to cheating and now you want to basically come back to the community. Like just having a whole episode on like what that path looks like, what that redemption arc might look like. And my plan is to actually get someone on that has been accused of cheating. So I don't want to just have it with like another white knight. I actually want to have someone on the show that's probably has that reputation. So I'm hoping maybe to get like Alex Harrison on, or like obviously Josh Seth doesn't play anymore, but there's definitely players out there that have had that reputation. And I basically want to get them on to talk about like, and I kind of want it to be like, you know in that in that episode of Oprah where like Lance Armstrong like admits for the first time that he doped. I kind of want it to be like that. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, I said Alex. No, Josh is like retired. He had like 17 retirement posts. I feel like he retired like 6 times. Anyways, what I was hoping to do with like Alex is like, it was gonna be basically like the like that Oprah episode where Lance Armstrong, like she's like, did you like, they're sitting across in like the like courtyard, and she's like, did you cheat? And he's like finally admits that he did, and then like he has a bit of like a big conversation, and then, or it'll be like the Meghan Markle conversation where it'll be like I'll be Oprah and like Alex will be like Meghan Markle, and we'll just have like a very dramatic conversation about it. So something like that, right? So I don't know if I haven't actually ever talked to him about these incidents that he's got a reputation for, but I'd love it if like, wouldn't it be cool? I think it'd actually be really good if like someone that had that reputation, and okay, like let's like pretend for a sec that Alex actually did cheat those times that he's been accused of cheating. Don't you think there's something to be said if you like literally was like, yeah, you know what, I did cheat and I regretted it and I'm trying to be better. Like I think that is like actually the first step of redemption, is like admitting that you did it, saying that it was wrong, and like saying and like going through that process of like talking about how you're going to fix it. And so, you know, I don't know if Alex would be up for that, because at the end of the day, I don't even know if he thinks that he cheated. Like he might in his head feel like he didn't cheat, and I actually don't even know if he cheated. Like I just know what I've seen and what I've heard. And I don't know if like in his head that wasn't a thing, but there's many other players like that who have had that reputation. And so I want to have one of them on to kind of talk through that redemption and like talk to them and really get to know their side of the story, right? So could be interesting, could be a total bust, but that's something that I'm gonna probably do in the next little while. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be on the Politics of Plastic show. And speaking of Politics of Plastic, you do not want to miss next week's episode. I have Peter the Falcon on, and we're going to be talking about whether or not composition scores, so like old Warhammer Fantasy composition scores should make a return. So that's something that I think is not really talked about. Like, and I know there's lots of issues with like balance right now. So I thought it'd be a really good conversation to figure out if it's something that we should do again, how we would do it, who would enforce it, where would it come from, why it's bad, why it's good. So I think I think it's going to stir a bit of a hornet's nest. So I'm excited to have that that discussion. So it's not a podcast here. Let me link it really quick because I feel bad that I'm like plugging her show, but I don't actually have a link to it. She put a link into it at the competitive 40K group. So if you guys remember that, you can check. Let me just, there we go. I'm putting in the chat because I can. Okay, I'll explain to you in a sec, Hakon. So there's the link to the episode. I definitely give it a watch. So basically, and I don't want to give out too much because I want you to tune in on Tuesday because we are going to talk about composition scores and what they are and like where they come from, why do we have them, all that kind of stuff. But the gist of it is that in the old days, like, and by old days I mean like 10 years ago, competitive events, you would get 4 scores instead of 3. So currently you get a sportsmanship score, you get a general score for your gameplay, and you generally get a painting score. And that usually kind of comprises of your total score. But back in the day, you used to actually get also a score for composition, which is basically a judgment of like how good or bad your army is. So if you take a really good army with like all the broken ass shit, you'd get a low composition score. And if you took like a very thematic army with like a lot of like thematic choices and it wasn't just totally OP, you'd get a higher composition score. So the idea is we want to promote and reward people for taking more balanced armies that are thematic. And the whole goal of that, and the whole reason that existed in the first place was because like nowadays, even though the game is not balanced, the gap between the haves and the have-nots is much smaller. So you can imagine 10 years ago, like right now, like the worst army is what? Gene Circle, Tau. Even like at like there's situations where they can still win games, and there's in certain missions against certain other armies they can win games. But the balance was out of place 10 years ago, especially in like Warhammer Fantasy, where you had like 2 or 3 armies that were just so good, and then you had such a big group of armies that were so bad. And the reason they were so bad is because Games Workshop used to like update codexes like once every like 7 years. Like the Dark Eldar, I think between 3rd and 6th edition didn't get a codex. Like it went like 3 editions of the game without getting a codex or something crazy like that. So then because of that, they just end up sucking over time, right? And so the players introduced these composition scores in order to help balance the game, because GW wouldn't do it. GW just wasn't capable, and they just weren't able to. So, and then over time, that kind of fell out of favor. People kind of started to say, okay, well, let GW balance it. This was again before we used to have like the idea of a chapter approved where you get points updates. That's a very new thing. That's only something that's existed in the last 2 or 3 years. But if you think about it, back in like 7th edition, you didn't really get like points updates. So a unit would come out in the codex and you didn't really get FAQs, right? And that unit would be broken and would be undercosted for like a whole edition, right? So you'd have overpowered armies, overpowered units for whole editions. And that's something that like now GW with chapter approved, they are able to address that. And also they're just putting out FAQs in general or erratas, and they are nerfing things more. They never used to nerf stuff. Sometimes like they'd release a unit and it would just terrorize the game for 4 years, right? Because that was the old GW. So that's where comp stores came from. It was like kind of this attempt to like kind of balance the game, because GW either didn't want to or just wasn't capable. So does that answer your question? So we're going to talk about that, whether they should come back, basically. That's going to be the discussion. Because, like, some players hated them, right? And we're going to kind of talk about it. So, and sometimes, like, again, I don't want to give away the whole show, but there's 2 main kinds of comp. There was, like, player judge comp. So, like, we would play a game me and you, at the end of the game, based on how broken I thought your army was, I'd give you like a score out of 10. I'd be like, you know, Hakon, I'd be like, you played a super broken army. Like everything was like OP. I had no fun, and there's no theme here. You just took all the best units and combined them, and like that's like, you know. And so I'm gonna actually score your comp for you. So it's like, it's kind of like a sportsmanship score now, where like, you know, most sportsmanship now is like, were they a dick or not, or were they an asshole or not? And then sometimes there's votes for favorite player, but those are kind of separate. But in the old days, like, you would literally be like, give the player a score out of 10 on like how balanced or thematic or shitty you think their army is. And so if you brought an army that just like face stomp people would often just give you 0 for comp, right? So like everyone would give you 0, and you get like 0 out of 50 for comp because you just brought like a fucking face smashing army. But then you'd go 5-0, right? So because you just destroy everyone, or you like, right? So so that was kind of the I guess origin of comp. But that was one system, and then the other system, and again, I feel like I'm giving away the whole show on Tuesday, so make sure to tune in though, because we're gonna get a little bit deeper in it. But the second system that existed was there would actually be like a so one of the ones for fantasy is called Swedish comp, and it's basically this like it was like a 30-page document where you started with like 20 points, or like you started with like 100 points, and then each army had its own little chart for like, every time you take this unit, subtract 10 points. Every time you take one of these, subtract 5 points. Whenever you take 2 of these, subtract 20 points. So like, you'd get penalized for taking multiples of the same thing. You'd get X more penalized for taking more broken things. And these were tailored and specific to each army. So at the end, you'd write your army list, and then you'd go and calculate the comp score. And certain tournaments would say, in order to play in this event, you need a comp score between 15 and 30. If you have anything lower, it's too low, you can't play because your army's too broken. You can obviously go always higher, but the idea was to like create balance in the game when none existed through the use of these systems. And it was very popular. Like the WTC, the ETC, the old ETC adopted it. Big events, you should adopt it. So it wasn't like a niche thing that like 2 people did, right? Swedish comp at its heyday was as big as the ITC, as far as like as big as the ITC missions were during the ITC like that day. In fantasy, almost everyone played Swedish comp. It was very unanimous, because that's just the way that the game was. So and I think 40K probably had some similar systems. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, that's what we're gonna talk about. So hopefully I didn't already tell you everything, but make sure to tune in on Tuesday for that. I'm just gonna move my mic maybe away from my airbrush. Do you think that'll help if I kind of talk over here? Let's see. It's not so bad. I think you can still hear it though. What I need to get is like if you guys are wondering like what's wrong with me, I just sprayed this silver, and now I'm spraying it green, and like I'm just going back over the silver. That's totally okay, because I'm around 20 psi because I'm base coating. But the reason I'm doing it this way is because I will go back and clean up all the silver, but I'm just trying to get like the base colors down. So, and I'm gonna have to do a few coats anyways. So for this specific scheme, I will be doing more like, this looks kind of gross right now, But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna base coat both the silver and the green, and then I'm gonna go back with like more control and go back over the silver areas that I missed, that I oversprayed, so that basically I'm getting, because here's the thing, once the main areas are done, I'm not gonna be wanting to use the airbrush again, and so I want to get all the like main base coats done, and then I'll clean it up with my silver again. So going back and just getting my silver, and then once I do the wash, which is going to be a lot of wash and like other effect, I'll do the metal next, and then I'm going to go back and do the highlighting on I'm going to do the highlighting on all the highlighting on all the green parts. But I'm just trying to get a base coat down on the green, and because and then I'll go back with like a lot finer control to actually highlight the green. And yeah, I will do like a bit of a fade, a bit of layers and stuff like that, but not too much, because the scheme that I paint these in, it's a little bit of a roughed up armor look, so I don't want it too airbrushy. So I will be going back with brush. This is mostly just doing a lot of the grunt work, but it's a lot easier just to base coat the areas like this and then go back and clean it up by brush than it is to like only airbrush the metal and then or only do the green by like hand. Like, does that make sense? And I'm doing really thin layers here, so that's why I'm gonna do 2 coats. 2 thin coats, as Duncan would say. So you can see it's kind of messy, like there's like green on the silver and stuff, but I will go back. It's a lot easier just to go and like clean that up with a brush, the little overspray, than it is to like only use the airbrush for the green or the silver. So I'm still better off doing it airbrushing both sections. It'll still save me time in the end. That's one. You can see how shiny it is. Man, I'm so tempted to start. Brian, you mentioned you were working on Sisters. I'm so tempted to start Sisters now that like my death card's basically done. But I think what I'm gonna do is I have a lot of commission work to do for the next little while, so I think I'm just gonna focus on that. And and I don't really have any personal stuff to paint, which is nice. I'm all caught up on my personal stuff. And then I'm probably gonna maybe do a little bit of demons and stuff, just to get ready for whatever future holds, I guess. Because I realize I don't have a ton of Slanesh, so I might finally paint a Keeper's Secrets. I haven't painted one of those yet. I know everyone loves them, so I'm thinking maybe I'll paint a Keeper's Secrets. Maybe I'll do some Demonettes, a unit, because I have a unit of all the other lesser demons. I just don't have Demonettes. It's the only ones I don't have. So I thought maybe I could do a unit of those. I thought about doing more Marines, like my Soul Drinkers, but I have no desire to play them, you know? And the problem is like the stuff that I have painted. Yeah, like I want to get kind of keep my table clear. I have a Sigvald. I could paint that. Oh, I guess I lied. I don't technically have I converted up. I'll show you. I think I showed you guys. I converted up Sigvald right here. He's got Abaddon sword. Pretty cool. And I'm gonna basically paint him, and I got like his armor plates here. I'm gonna paint him kind of like Two-Face. So he's gonna be like half like he's gonna be like half perfect and like half like his like demonic visage. So like half his armor will be like pristine and clean and whatever, and then the other half is gonna be like rotten and kind of like the true like what he really looks like, kind of like underneath. I'm excited to do that. But that's a model that I want to spend a ton of time on, and it's when I have a lot of commissions and stuff, it's not something that like I have time for. So I'll probably save him when my current projects are close to being done, or I need a little bit of break from painting Marines, because I have about 4,000 points of Dark Angels to paint, which is kind of exciting, but not really exciting. So I'm gonna try to channel my inner Bobby Clark and kind of power them out in like a few weeks. But I also have a full-time job, so it's not like I can paint like I come home from work and I paint. So I need to yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm just waiting for these to dry. They're quite wet still, so need another coat. Just doing the bulldozers again. Like the third coat. And then this is the Demon Prince is all dry. He doesn't need another coat. He's pretty good. As he's gonna get like a wash. Anyway, so I'm excited for Curse City, although I don't have anyone to actually play with because we're in like serious lockdown here in Vancouver and everyone is in hiding, so it's gonna suck. But also, by the way, if you guys are watching, thank you for watching, first of all, everyone that has tuned in. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the content between my painting streams and my ranting and some of the other shows that we're doing. I'm excited to kind of continue producing stuff for you guys. If you could do me a huge favor, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. I'm already a Twitch affiliate, which means I'm like basically until I get like a few thousand more people watching, there's nowhere I can kind of go with Twitch. But with YouTube, once I get to 1,000 subscriptions, that opens up a bunch of options for me as far as like becoming a YouTube partner, which is really nice as well because it opens up like different options for the channel. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube as well. So and you never have to watch a YouTube video if you don't want to, but definitely do. I am going to eventually be uploading some YouTube exclusive content, some other kinds of things like YouTube videos specifically. So if you're watching on Twitch or Facebook, just make sure to give me a like on those other channels. That'll be really helpful. It doesn't cost anything, just like one little button. You can even turn off your notifications so you never see anything from the channel, but at least you'll know that I'm there. And I'll feel good about it. So, but please also watch the videos because that's helpful. Always paint under your vehicles, guys. If you don't paint underneath your tanks, that's you're a bad person, and you should feel bad. It's like not cleaning under your bed just because you don't think anyone's gonna see it. Yeah, I didn't even try. Honestly, I knew exactly what was gonna happen, Ixtab. Like, I didn't even bother trying on GW. Literally, as soon as they were like, here's Curse City, this new game coming out, I emailed my LGS. I was like, hey, when Curse City goes on pre-order, save me a copy. And this was like 2 months ago. As soon as they announced Curse City, I like emailed my LGS because I knew exactly this was gonna happen. And I was like, he's like, yeah, you're the first one by a long, because I think a lot of people waited until pre-orders went live to like pre-order it, but I literally called the LGS like 2 months ago and I was like, hey, I don't know when this is gonna go live, but like when it does, please save me a copy. Like I'm pre-ordering it now. And he did that, and so yeah, they have a copy for me. They're gonna go pick it up tomorrow. I might, if they have extras, I might grab another one just to sell, not to scalp, but maybe just sell to someone that couldn't get one at cost. So I feel like there's a lot of scalpers right now, but I just want to help someone out that didn't get a copy. But then in that case, shouldn't I just leave it there so that someone that could buy it at the store? Like, what's the right call there? Do I not buy it so that someone else in Vancouver can buy it, or do I buy additional copies so that I can resell it to someone on the internet that didn't get a copy? What do you think the like ethical thing to do here is, or what's the noble thing to do? Curious what your guys' thoughts are. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have no doubt they'll sell the copies, right? But well, the scene in BC is that like we're under emergency stay-home orders, and that there is no scene. For once, the U.S. is actually beating us at like something healthcare related, which is vaccines. So that's really sad for us. Yeah, where in Central Cali do you live, Ryan? Like, what's Central Cali? Because when I think of Cali, I really only think about, like, I don't know, like LA, San Diego, San Fran. I don't really know, like, besides the big cities, like, I feel like I don't really know fucking what's out there. Alright, so there we go. Tanks are done. Nice solid coat of green. It took 2 coats. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go back over with a lot, like that was like very like aggressive. So the next step is I'm going to go back over them with a very fine airbrush with a lot more control and just kind of re-hit the silver areas without destroying all the work I've already done on the green. Fresno, Stockton. The only place I've heard of is Fresno, and only because I really like Fresno chilies, which I don't know if they're named after Fresno, but I assume they are because Fresno sounds Mexican. Stockton, I feel like I've heard of. I've never heard of those other 2 places. But I do like Fresno chilies. They're like red. They look like little red jalapenos. I don't know if they're actually from Fresno or what the whole deal is, but that's a limited knowledge of Central California that I have. You don't even know that? Come on, man. What kind of Californian are you if you don't even know that the chilies come from there? Basically one giant ghetto covering the center of California. Oh, that's great. Sounds like a lovely place. Oh, shit. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm cleaning my airbrush. I'm doing like a quick clean so that I can switch colors here. If you want to check out how I do that, I did put up a video on airbrush cleaning and kind of use. Check that out on YouTube. But I kind of go through how I quickly switch colors and clean my airbrush in between sessions. During sessions, sorry, so I don't have to like break it apart and take it apart and stuff. And it means that airbrush is really easy to use and isn't like a huge pain, which I think sometimes people find airbrushing like this huge pain, but if you know how to like kind of use it well and maintain it well, it's pretty easy. What's TKM? Oh, times. Have you guys been getting the vaccines and stuff in California? There you go. Good as new. Boom. Look at that. And now just assemble it. Ready to go. Next color. So now I'm gonna go back in with I'm gonna come back in with a little bit of my silver. So I'll show you guys how I mix the paints. Little guy. I always start with my this is Vallejo Flow Improver, so I always go in with that first. A little bit of that. Boom. And then my metallic, whatever paint. Then I got an old brush. This is actually a, look at this brush. Nice, GW Jade brush, but like look at the tip. Like absolutely disgusting, but it's really good for mixing paint because it's got that little hook, so it gets like down in there into the cup. And I just kind of jam it in there and mix. Okay, wipe off any excess. I usually will check for opacity at this point, and then I do a little backflow. What is can you call it, the gumbo, something like that? I don't know. He's got a weird, funny name for it. Gangster gumbo, I think is what he calls it. Yeah, gangster gumbo. Fuck, that's so funny. I love watching Kenny's videos. Gangster gumbo. Got my gangster gumbo right there. So just do a little test spray with metallics. Unlike like these thin paints, metallics is something that like I always make sure that I am really like the thickness is on point. And now I'm just gonna turn down my air compressor. Oh, I just turned it up by accident. And the reason I'm turning it down is so that I got a lot more control. Because if you try to do like too high a pressure, the spray pattern is gonna be a lot bigger. Like lower pressure is gonna give you a smaller pattern. So at this point, I can basically go through. So these are still quite wet, but basically, see here. And now I'm kind of going carefully and respraying all the areas where there was overspray. See, just like that. I'm getting all that. Yeah, this is around 10. So the thing with check out my video on airbrushing, because I kind of talk about that. But basically, the closer you're going to go to the model, the lower the air pressure you want, and the thinner your paints need to be. Because if you try to airbrush with low pressure but your paint is thick, it won't work. So there's a direct relationship between distance to the model and pressure, and then the thickness of your paint. Those three things those are kind of like the three knobs you need to kind of dial to like airbrush low. So you can see how close I'm getting, and the only reason I'm able to do that is because it's really low pressure. And I'm just kind of going and cleaning up all this overspray. Just like that. See? Now it doesn't get onto my green. Like that. So very light trigger action here. Trying to get nice and close, but stay within the lines. And because I'm using such low pressure, I can get really close to it and the paint won't spider. I can be very careful and kind of go close. But in order for the paint to actually flow at that low pressure, you need to make sure it's nice and thin as well. You can't do that with like a thick paint, it just won't work. Sorry, not really Axis. I don't. Are you tending towards running the cans on these? So I took my I have 3 PVCs, and I haven't actually played them yet in 9th in real life, only in ETS. But I actually took all my actual models and I magnetized them. Like I cut off the I cut off the entropy cannons and I magnetized them. I cut off the flamers and I magnetized them with the entropy cannons. So I do think the entropy cannons are a lot better now. And the other thing too is like, because you can fire them in combat, it's actually nice. And the other thing too is, because Overwatch is a lot less prevalent now because of the fact that like you can't Overwatch multiple times, it means like the flamers actually lose a lot of their value. Because one of the nice things is like being able to Overwatch. A boot access. So I'm right now, this is it's dark. Hey. I think I'm running around like 8 PSI right now. So you'll be shocked to know that Brian, in a standard classic GW twist of rules writing, that Plagueburst Crawlers are not actually Bubotic Astartes, which means they don't actually get an inexorable advance. Which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Neither do any of the demon engines actually. So the one units that you actually want it on don't actually get it. You want to know how GW writes rules? I had a long. If you there's a video on my YouTube called Jim Rants about GW rules writing 1 and 2. Go watch those because I talk about it, and I basically lose my shit at GW for their dumbass rules writing. So axis of entropy. Yeah, so check out my video on my channel about airbrushing basically. But I talk a lot about pressure and how it relates to like the stuff you're doing. So some of the really good painters, like I can highlight models with an airbrush. I can get down to like almost like a brush size highlight with airbrush. And the way that you do that is with very low pressure but very thin paint. And when you have very low pressure and very thin paint, you can get like super close to the model. So see how small that dot is? Right? Do you guys see how small that dot is? That's like a dot from this airbrush that I did on my hand. So I can actually get dots of paint that small and that close. So I can actually do like really, really fine highlights with the airbrush when I'm that close. And it's just really about controlling pressure. This is a 35 mil, or sorry, not 35 mil, that'd be huge. 0.35 mil. I also have a 0.2, I think, which I can also use if I really want to, but this is the main size brush, so it's fairly large. But like you can see here, see how thin that line is, right? See how small that line is? By using very low pressure and very thin paint, I can highlights like that. I can have a brush that's small. So I get super close to models and actually like literally highlight all the way up to like the highest highlight, maybe not the edge highlight, with just the airbrush. And the only way you're able to do that, keep your airbrush this close, is if the pressure's low and the paint, and if the pressure's that low, the paint needs to be really thin, otherwise it'll jam. So there's this like relationship between distance to the model, pressure, and then thickness of the paint. And so check out that video that I posted on YouTube. I use Vallejo Flow Improver. It's just pure 100%. There's nothing else in it. I don't use water. So I just use that stuff straight up. But you can even, like, I like it because it's nice and easy. But, and the reason I don't use the airbrush thinner is because the airbrush thinner actually has drying, has like a drying agent in it, which I don't want. Whereas the Flow Improver has a dry, I can't talk, retarder in it, which retards the drying time. It's got a retard in it, guys. No, I mean, the Flow Improver has a retarder in it, so it actually retards the drying time. Yeah, so that's it. So that's why, so now I've basically done both the green and the silver, just all with the airbrush. And because I kind of did it in that order, I don't have to now go back and like redo the green, because now the green's all done. But because my next highlights of the green are going to be like careful like that, I won't overspray onto the silver either. So that's kind of how I'm going to get those tanks kind of at this point really quick. Really quick. So, let me just see here. Yeah, check out the video. I'm by no means like the world's best airbrusher. Mostly because I'm impatient and I don't like to like, but definitely I feel like I've learned a lot over the years, and I do watch a lot of videos and try a lot of like techniques. The biggest thing is like, you always got to measure the time it takes you to like yes, I could highlight a model that close with the airbrush, but like, is it worth my time sometimes? Like, because I'm being so careful. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Yeah, I mean, a big part of planning the models for me is figuring out what I can airbrush, get away with, and then kind of what order I can do it in, because it's kind of, you kind of want to do it in an order so that you're minimizing overspray. That's, for instance, why I did like the silver here first, then the green, then back to silver, because basically that allows me kind of get the first few stages done really quick, that first silver coat, and then when I'm going back with the silver now, I'm a little bit more careful, but and if there is a little bit of overspray, it's not a big deal, because once I do the wash and I start doing like the first bit of highlights with the green, all that'll get kind of disappeared. Like, you won't really even notice that. Yeah, that's true, but like all my Terminators, I'll show you my Terminators. Oh, I can't see. So these Terminators, so see all the armor, the transitions in the armor? See how it's like such small areas? That's all done with airbrush. That's all done with airbrush. So I was able to kind of highlight even small areas like this with that much control just with the airbrush. And then I just went in with, I went in with a little bit of edge highlight at the very end. But all that transition on all the different armor plates, that's all done with an airbrush. That's not any sort of brush work. I was able to actually do these guys pretty quick. But yeah, like it's definitely finicky, right? So yeah, so you can use it on various, like look at that transition there. That's such a small area. That's all airbrush. So you can still use it for really small stuff. Here. By the way, thanks everyone that's tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna plug it. I got up to 200 followers on YouTube, which I think is pretty good, because someone was saying it might take me like, my goal is to get 1,000 followers by June. Do you think that's possible, guys? Do you think I can do it? People are saying it should take me a year to get 1,000. But I'm gonna like rag the Play on Tabletop guys hard to like, I'm gonna basically go on the battle report for Play on Tabletop, and I'm gonna like plug my channel every like 3 seconds until they promise to put a link to my channel in the like battle report. Because I'm basically like, if you think about it, I'm going to play a battle report for them. They're not paying me, right? So I'm basically going to do this battle report, and what do I get out of it? Nothing, right? So I'm basically their actor in their movie, and they're not paying their actors. So as payment for my stardom in the video, I'm gonna get them to hopefully promote my channel. I'm also doing an army showcase. I think I mentioned this as well. I'm gonna be bringing all 20,000 points of my Painted Chaos, and they just did an army showcase with Tanya, actually, the War Mistress. So I'm gonna be bringing all 20,000 points of my Painted Chaos and putting it on the table there, and like having like a huge presentation of like my entire Chaos collection, which I'm really excited for. Yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying though, right? But like they're basically profiting off my likeness, off my off me, off my face. So if they're gonna make all this money off their YouTube channel, you know, I want a little bit of love too. I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm not a greedy man. Also, don't forget, if you guys go to Play on Tabletop and watch their very first video, Battle Report, do you know who's in it? So I kind of, you know, not saying that I got them off the ground, but I got them off the ground. Because they did a Battle Report when I was playing at the top table at a final with me in it. Also, if you want to see how hungover I can possibly be, go look at that Battle Report. I'm probably on like an hour of sleep because we stayed up till like 6 in the morning drinking in the hotel at the venue, and I was like a complete piece of shit for the whole day. So that's why I look like so haggard in that video, if you guys are wondering. I swear I don't normally look like that. Yeah, that's right, Axis. I oversee 5 restaurants as a culinary director and business director. So I don't work as a chef. I used to, but now I'm just kind of like now I have a desk, and I basically sit at my desk, make recipes, and yell at people. Alright. Okay, guys, that's all the airbrushing, thank God. So, thankfully, that look. Yeah, I'm not really a product manager. Like I do all the like, I'm more like a COO, I guess, Chief Operating Officer of our company. I'm an executive in our company, so I'd be the closest thing. But I founded the company like 5.5 years ago with my business partners, so it's a little bit more than a product manager, but. Gordon Jim. I actually thought about doing some cooking shows. What do you guys think of that? Should I do like a cooking stream? That would be like, I don't even know. You know, it'd be really funny. You know how they have those like cookbooks that are like medieval cookbooks, where it's like there's like a game, like for instance, there's like a Game of Thrones cookbook where it's like the foods and shit that they ate during like they would have eaten in like Game of Thrones. I should do like a 40K cookbook where it's like food and stuff that like they would eat in the 40K universe. Like, hey, we're gonna make Eldar brain soup today, and we're gonna make fucking orc burgers and like shit like that. What do you think of that? Orc meat burgers, guys? Should that be my first video? Not really, man. That's the thing. Like, you can, it's not really featured a lot. Like, there's, like, you don't really know. My restaurants are vegan. I'm not vegan myself, though. So, that's probably what makes me a good vegan chef, is that I have, like, a good taste for, like, non-vegan stuff, and then I make vegan versions, and it's really tasty usually, so. But yeah, what do you think if I did a 40K cookbook channel? Like that doesn't exist, right? Pork burgers and like Eldar fries. What do you think, guys? Is that the new big idea? That would be hilarious, actually. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I definitely want to do it. What's going on here? Where is my well, David said you were half beef jerky. I'm half beef jerky? That doesn't make any sense. Come on. Alright, look at this box, guys. This is my airbrush box. I've been airbrushing in this box for like 5 years. It's, I don't know if you can tell, look at the plastic. This here, this like goop, that's like paint buildup over, like look how thick the paint is. That's literally like, this is like a clean, smooth cardboard box. There's literally like 7 years of paint. And I refuse to get rid of it. It's starting to fall apart a little bit, but it's, you know, it's like that old t-shirt you have that that's so comfy and you just don't want to get rid of. Alright, so just a little update on kind of where we're at, guys. So I got the two PVCs. I got these guys done. Even Prince is base coated. And then I got these guys, which I have not started. Oh, this is at the very end. And then also the kind of suite of weapons. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to wash all the metal areas here with a big brush. So what that's going to look like is, also here's a super handy tip. These I actually stole from the restaurant. They're like sauce cups, but I have like a 300 pile of these, like a big tube, and they got lids as well. So if you're wanting to make like large amounts of wash, oh, you know what, guys? Oh, check this out. I just bought some oil paints. And I've never used them. Should I fuck with the oils today? I've never used them yet. Maybe I will. What do you think? I hear they're like pretty magical, but I feel like this is I mean, I guess I might as well, are all the restaurants you run vegan or just the pies? Shane, they're all vegan, including the newest one. Okay, so this is a client's project, so I haven't painted with oils before, but I'm gonna fuck with some oils. So I got these oils, so I'll check these out. Oh shit. This is, I watched actually a good video to watch is, there's a channel called Ninja, Trapped Under Plastic. It's like Miniac and Ninjon, who are like two big painters on YouTube. They have a really good channel. So I got these like really high quality artist paints, and I got this little guy here, which is some artists minerals, odorless mineral spirits. So guys, let's do it. Let's fuck with some oils. So if I understand this correctly, I want to get a little bit of card by oils, because apparently you want to absorb some of the oil. So I'm gonna do a little bit of, I want to do like a brown paint, like a brown wash. So I'm gonna do a little bit of burnt umber. Okay. Oh man, that shit's thick. Miniac and Ninjon is like, it's two YouTube channel, but their YouTube show is called Trapped Under Plastic. Their YouTube channel with this, it's like a painting podcast, painting show basically. Yeah, hopefully. Oh shit, the black's super wet. God damn it, that black just splooged out. I do? Okay, well, you know what, guys? YOLO, right? Get over there. I also got this this pink one and some white, and I want to do this. I want to do Sigvald's cloak in this pink, and do like a really crazy blend with it. So hopefully we'll see how that works. So let's see here. Grab my mineral spirits. I don't think it'll dissolve the plastic of this cup, will it? That would be really bad. Okay, a little bit of brown. A little bit of black. Oh, there's chunky monkeys in there, man. What's cool sounding? See here. One more black, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing, guys, but you know what? YOLO, right? A little more black. Oh yeah, Sigwald's cloak. Yeah, that's right, Access. That's all you're supposed to use, really. It's the mineral spirits. From my research and my studying. It's essentially what used to thin the paints and also wash the brushes as well. Okay, so that's my wash. So let's check this out. Let's see if you guys can see this. Hold on. How's that for zoom? Focus. Is that nice and focused? Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's do this. YOLO oil to oil stonks. Not much happening so far. Looks like kind of a weak wash so far. I think I want more. It's kind of weak right now, so I think I'm going to put a little bit more brown and a little bit more black. I want it to be a lot darker. Yeah, these are apparently odorless, but even the odorless, it's not like something you should be. Oh damn! I just put this in my paint water and it all looks fucked up. There's little oil bits in my paint water, but I guess that makes sense. All right, let's check this out. There we go. And one thing I don't like about oil though is it just takes so long to dry, you know? That's why I like acrylics. Is because you can it's all done really quick. Yeah, it's definitely not as dark as I would like. Okay. Pick that out so far. Kind of weak, yeah. Maybe I should put more pigment. What do you guys think? You guys being a little bit scared with the pigment. Yeah, I'm going in with this. Look at this. Look at this Luger. Going in with that. Imagine the mineral spirits like eat through the plastic of this cup and the whole thing just like melts onto my table. That'd be awesome, eh? So fingers crossed it doesn't happen. I should have probably not used a nice sable brush too for this. I should have probably used a synthetic. Oh well. This is a fucking... By the way, this is one of those Squidmar brushes and they fucking suck, so I don't actually mind that much. I got them from the Kickstarter and they're not very good. So I would not recommend these brushes. Okay, so that's... There we go, I fucked with a bunch more. Oh, there we go, look at that. That's more like it. Probably too strong now, but oh well. That's some dirt McGirt. Dirty ass. Looks like shit water. Like someone took a dump in my mineral spirits. Yeah, I don't know, man. I did the Artist Opus 2 sets, sucked. I did the Squidmar brushes, they sucked. I haven't really had a good brush from the Kickstarters. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to mine, except like literally my first brush within like this is like their large brush, but within like 2 minutes of me using it, all the hair split on like my size 1 and my size 2. And I thought it was like just that brush, so I tried like the other sizes and like same thing. They just split so quick. It was brutal. So I tried washing them really well because people were like, "Oh, it's like you're not using the brush right. Like it's like some starch thing." And so I washed the brushes really well. I did like I conditioned them with like brush soap. I left them in like a nice sharp point so that they would like dry as like a nice sharp point overnight. And then yeah, next time I went to go use them, same exact thing. Like just instantly split. It was brutal. So that's a lot better, eh? That brown. Still not quite as like, I guess, muddy as I would have thought, but definitely better than the first mix. I think understanding how much pigment is to be used for like your wash, I think is probably really important. Nice box. Yeah, you guys like my box. Oh, you mean the Artist Opus box? Yeah. I was like, I got 2 of them, 2 sets. So I had 2 of those boxes, and I was like, oh, these are really cool boxes. I'm gonna keep them and put stuff in them, but they actually don't hold very much. And I was like, I don't know what I keep these for, so I ended up throwing them out. They were just taking up space, and I was like, I'm never gonna use these for anything. Ooh. I might, these are definitely not odorless. They got definitely a little bit of a stank to them. Probably throw my mask on here. Like, give me 1 second. It's like I'm gonna go mask for a sec. How do I look? Do I look good? Do I sound good? It's definitely like stanky. Stanky enough that I was like getting a little bit lightheaded almost. I don't know if that's the right way to describe my feeling, but you know that feeling when you're like, you know that feeling when you're smelling like paint thinner? That's what it smelled like, but because guess what? I'm smelling paint thinner. Basically what it is. It's just like less, it's still paint thinner. It's just like less smelly paint thinner. Thanks, Shane. You always look good too, man. What if I just always sounded like this? Like I just had a muffled voice permanently? I don't think this was the project for me to do oils, but oh well. Now I'm gonna have to wait like 17 years. I think this is probably the last step I do tonight on these guys. Probably let them dry till tomorrow. I don't know how long it actually takes, but yeah. So, anyways, oil paints hashtag. I'm a real artist. I feel like a real artist now that I'm using oil paints. Like, yes, I paint acrylic models in oil on plastic. You know, like people, you know, the like douchey artists that are like, ew, what mediums do you paint in? Now I can be like, oh, I paint in oils. I'm such a fancy artist. Okay, so there we go, guys. That's the oil paint situation. Yeah, but these are oil washes, so they take like 3 years apparently. So I'm gonna leave that. I don't know, how do I dry this? Because it's like there's no spot. Maybe upside down, I guess. So check this out though. This is my oil palette. Look how dry it is already though. That's surprising. I think that's where my paint was. Look how dry it is. I thought it'd be a lot wetter. Wetter? More wet? I'm gonna add a little bit of spirits to this. Well, maybe it actually doesn't dry that slow. Yeah, I have all. What I'm gonna do is as soon as these are drying, I'm gonna switch to the demon prints, I guess. Oh, I guess I gotta make more of this oil. I guess I'm committed to do all the PVCs in this oil wash now, because the metals for the like the guns and stuff. I guess I gotta do in this wash as well, right? I can't do a different wash. That'll look really weird. So. Oh shit. Stoic. Thanks, man. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate that. Always nice to find a fan. Not that I'm like very important, but always nice to find someone that doesn't hate me. Stoic. So, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, people don't say enough nice things to other people these days. Okay, you guys want to hear a true story about people just being randomly internet mean? I posted in the competitive 40K. By the way, Reddit is a cesspool for the internet, so avoid Reddit at all costs. But I posted that I was doing my podcast on Tuesday. Yeah, you can kind of wet it again. That's the other thing too, right? Like you can go in with like the spirits and get it wet. Anyways, I posted on the competitive Reddit that I was doing my podcast with Lou Rollins, and people were like, "Oh, this isn't competitive content because it's not like it's about painting." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's also about like competitive scoring at tournaments." So I thought that's relevant. They're like, "No, it's got to be like more competitive than that. It can't be like just kind of competitive." So then, and some guy was like, basically accused me. He's like, "Oh, like some guy that like basically, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what his words were. But it was something along the lines of like basically accusing me of being a cheater, which I have no idea who that is, and then saying that like I shouldn't be the one talking about like ethics in Warhammer, and I'm like, dude, I was talking about painting scores. Like, first of all, second of all, who the fuck are you? And I don't know, he's just like rude out of the blue. And then someone accused me of saying that like poor people shouldn't play Warhammer on the competitive forum, which again I don't know, but yeah, Shane, these are for commission, buddy. They're not for me. I already have two. I'm just using them as a test bed for science experiments of oil paints, so sucks to be my client. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently I'm a cheater, and also yeah. It's funny because I just don't have time for people like that, you know? Like I try not to let them bother me. Alright, that's the 2 tanks, guys, in oils. What do you think? So we'll see how they look tomorrow, I guess, because that's when they're going to be dry, or when I'll feel good enough to go and do more work on them. I based all my PVCs, actually. I put them on bases, so look at my paint water, guys. Got little floaty bits of oil. It looks like oh man, I think that's a great topic. Should poor people play Warhammer? Look at the oil, isn't that cool? I'm gonna go change my paint water though really quick because it's super nasty right now. And the nice thing about these things is once you're done with them, you can just chuck them. Oh my. Whew. All right, I'm back. That mask. This is an N95 mask too, so it's supposed to be like extra poppy. Sorry. I think I'm getting stuffed up from the chemicals. All right, guys, what's next? PVCs. Let's see. Got our 2 things. This guy here, I don't even know where to start with this guy. I feel like he's what do you think? What do you do here? I think this guy I'm gonna start tomorrow because he seems a little bit too much. I don't know about this oil stuff, guys. I think I need to pick a better project for it, but it's so annoying that it takes so long. Like, why would you ever want to do that to yourself? Acrylics all the way, as far as I'm concerned, so far. You know, I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to let these PVCs do their thing. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Tomorrow, if you're around, I'm probably going to maybe stream a little bit of my Cursed City unboxing and or assembly in the afternoon once I get it. I'm also going to be going... yeah, so I'm going to probably open my Cursed City and then getting everything ready for my series next week. I want to try to do 2 characters a week. So that's 4 hours of content, like streaming. Plus, I think I still want to do I still got to do my regular streams. Or maybe I'll just do it instead of my regular streams. What do you guys think? Should I do both? Should I do regular paint streams and I should do the speed painting challenge? I feel like the speed painting challenge is its own thing, and I kind of want it to be its own thing. So I'll have to think about it, and I'll also have to see how my week goes. I have a busy week next week. We have a new menu coming out at the restaurant that I gotta finish, which I'm a little bit behind on because I've been doing this too much. So, and also life sucks. But so, all right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. It's really, really helpful for the channel. Yeah, I will see you guys on tomorrow, or if not on Sunday. We're going to be back at 6 p.m. Otherwise, are you up for both? Probably. I'll probably do both. I'm a bit of a... I'm purposely trying to avoid my friends right now because they're all alcoholics, and I don't want to be drinking. So my only kind of escape from my friends right now is to paint. And it's a good thing that'll keep me entertained. But as soon as I have a free night where I'm not painting, I end up drinking, and I don't want to be doing that right now. I'm trying to lose 15 pounds by my birthday in June. Because I gained a bunch of weight over Christmas, so drinking is not helping. But I need to get skinny and fit for the summer again. So next week's supposed to be super sunny in Vancouver, so hopefully I will get some sun as well. I'm gonna go for a few bike rides. I should live stream some bike rides. That'd be really fun. But I don't know if anyone's gonna watch that. Dry games. Actually, you'd be surprised, Shane. Every time I go over to Miles' house to play, he always offers me booze, and I've never had a drink there. I always resist. Yeah, dude, I carry it here and in my face, and in my butt. So, but I'm definitely not where I need to be. Where do I buy Games Workshop in Vancouver? I usually go to either Strategies, Games, and Hobbies, which is on Main Street, or I will go to the actual Games Workshop in Highgate Village. Those are the two main places. There's a place in North Van called Hammer Time, but it's kind of lame. Or I'll just order online. That's usually like what I end up doing for the most part, because I can't be bothered to leave my house to go get models, so I'd prefer them just to come to me. So, all right, guys, have a good night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.